Hi, welcome to my channel. I am Divine Empress, your Fulani sister, and I want to reminders of something here. This is a message first and foremost for me, before it's for anybody else. I'm just sharing it in case somebody else might resonate, and hopefully we can share ideas in the comment section. Contribute whatever you feel led to contribute with this message. You never know. I can be one part of the message, you could be the other part, and you never know who you might benefit. When you share things that you feel led to. So I had a moment where I was, having this conversation in my head about things, and these are questions, honestly, that I cannot answer on my own. It was a conversation that really should have been like a moment of prayer, And at some point, I thought to myself, I was like, why make things harder when I can just ask? If you're someone of faith or have some sort of spiritual belief, right? You might believe that you might believe in God, and God is your go-to for things like for guidance, for protection, provisions, everything. Or you might believe in your spiritual team or whatever your faith is, and maybe for whatever reason you got to a point where it's like you're struggling a little bit because you've asked for things in the past and you've been in this waiting season. There are things that you've asked for, prayed about, that you still don't have clarity on. And because of those kind of experiences, it's kind of making you hesitate on wanting to pray and ask for things anymore. Because it feels like, what's the point? What's the point if maybe you've been getting certain answers that you're not pleased with, about certain things, and it's either you've been waiting or the answers you've been getting is not something that is satisfying you. So now it's affecting your faith journey, and it's not maybe it's like you still believe, you still trust and believe in God or your spiritual team or whatever you believe in. But now it's like you have this almost like this block build up where it's like, okay, I'm just like, you're just going to try to do certain things on your own and leave the rest. It's like, okay, you're just going to be like, okay, like, then it's just like, hi, God. God is there and everything. You'll be like, give your gratitude and your thanks, but that's it. Everything else is like, you're not gonna pray. Your prayers is about, okay, thanking God and maybe like that worship, but it's not to open up anymore. You don't feel like you want to do that. For whatever reason, there's some walls that you might that's preventing you from really allowing yourself to be that intimate, that close again. A little bit what I understand about divine timing at this very moment is that divine timing is when, for me, I would put it this way, it's when you're ready. Is when you're ready, like spiritually, physically, mentally, emotionally, let's say in all the ways. And sometimes you're ready for things that you're not aware of. It's not you necessarily that determines when you're ready. It's God who does. And let's say, for example, you're not looking for romance, or you think you're not ready for it, and then you start getting signs and messages about how someone is about to come into your life. You don't feel like you're ready for it, but God knows you're ready for it because of the work that you've been doing behind the scenes and how things look. You might see yourself in a certain way, but that's not exactly how others may see you or how God sees you. if you've been putting in the work and doing your healing, working through your traumas, working through the things of the past that you need to heal, it's like now you have elevated yourself to be in that frequency now to get to receive the love that is meant for you. And because you are in that space, whether you realize it or not, then you're attracting the things that are meant for you, that align with that frequency that you're in. Maybe you've worked on yourself to the point that now you're in that frequency or vibration or whatever. I don't know these terms, but you're in that space of love. So you're attracting the things that belong to that frequency. So whether you just take it as if you are in a space where you're ready for it. If God is saying you're ready for it, then you're ready for it. Whether you, of course you have the free will to accept or not accept, or to choose to trust or not choose to trust. But of course, you will know in your heart. But I would say it's like, if you don't feel worthy of the things that are coming towards you, or do you feel like God is telling you is coming for you, is meant for you, be honest in your prayer closet and say those things about how you feel. Be honest about how you feel, and be honest about be honest about how you feel in your prayer closet. One of the things I would like to encourage us is to not feel like in this journey of faith we have to pretend. We have to pretend we don't feel or see things. We don't have to be honest about how we feel. We always have to think positively and act like, there's no issues at all, or like we're not confused or we fear. However you feel, be honest. If anything, let God and your spiritual team be the ones whom you can be yourself around, like your best friend, the people who are the closest to you. Because at the end of the day, they are the ones, or God is the one who's always been there and always will be there for you, who has your best interests at heart, better than even you, or better than even the people who you think right now care for you. God is unconditional love, the purest form of love that could ever exist. And you can trust in that. Regardless of how you see yourself, try to ask God how he sees you, and hopefully that might encourage you. You might find comfort and motivation, encouragement through that. Because we don't see ourselves sometimes in the way that we really are, because of the things that keep coming in our minds. Because our minds, sometimes there are voices there that don't belong to us. And it can be hard to distinguish because it's in our heads. And so we take up things that we hear in our minds. It confuses us. But God can help us work through that and get clarity. One of the things that helped me, deal with the things of the mind is like, I check how I feel. Like if I'm having a good day and there's no issues, and then suddenly I have this kind of like depressive thoughts, or thoughts that is just like, almost feels like an attack. If what I'm thinking contradicts my circumstances or my reality at that moment, then I know that that's not my voice. Because some things sometimes that come in is just so random. It's like it has nothing to do with whatever going on in that situation. Then I'm like, no, that's not me. That's not me. If I know yesterday I felt all this positive, I had all these positive emotions and everything, and I had hopes for today and all that, and I wake up in the morning and all of a sudden it's like all this anxiety, fear, and all that. I'm like, no, 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 no. That's not me. That's not me. And like I would pray about it. I would talk to myself, or I would say pray about it and ask God to remove whatever that is, whatever doesn't belong to you, to be removed away from you spiritually, physically, mentally, emotionally. Release all of that. When you notice and feel like you're experiencing things that doesn't make sense, and you know that it's not you, then ask God to remove those things from you. Not everything that you're thinking about yourself is actually sometimes a reflection of you, of what you really think. Because like I was saying, some voices do not belong to us, and we don't realize that because we think like our mind is our own, so everything should be from us, but it's not. It's not. You know who you are. And just like the way you deal with people and situations in real life, sometimes your mind, you have to deal with your mind in that way. It's like when someone's trying to tell you who you are, remember who you are, because you know who you are. You know, there are situations, of course, that happen that trigger certain emotions, you know, in us. And that's understandable. Like at those moments, like the circumstances, you know, align with maybe what you're thinking or feeling, then you know that maybe it's because of what happened. But I was referring to those moments when, even with that too, like be careful with how you handle things, if possible. Even with that, also, it's like you should. There are times when maybe there's certain things that try to attach to us during those moments and try to maybe make us act in ways that we wouldn't act. If you feel like remember, like try to be, basically what I'm trying to say is trying to be in tune with yourself at all times. When you're experiencing things mentally, spiritually, physically, in any way, when you're experiencing things, try to tune in with yourself and see, like, and remember who you are. And see that situation in a way that, and try to work things in a way that you know it's real to you, you know? And like, if you're having a situation, maybe a disagreement with someone you really care about, you know, be mindful with how you're showing up in that situation. Be mindful of the words that are coming to your mind, and be mindful of the person that you're speaking to. Be mindful because certain people, like, not everything that comes to your mind needs to be said, right? So be mindful of your thoughts, and if you need a minute, sometimes it's really about not being quick to speak. Like, be slow to speak, right? Like they say, and listen more. So when you find yourself in situations, be slow to speak so you can better access what's going on and tune in with yourself and be able to distinguish and work through your thoughts before you speak, so that you don't end up saying and doing things that do not align. Don't always be reactive, be proactive. Meaning, like, do things in a way that would be do things in a way that would help the situation more than escalate it. Especially if you know you're not the type of person that is like argumentative and confrontational, that aggressive and all that, like, you know, certain with certain people, maybe certain relationships and situations, you might not want to show up in certain ways and certain people. And if you're not aware of of your thoughts and how you show up, you might end up, saying things or doing things that could really damage that situation in ways that it would be hard to remedy, you know, to fix later, because once you do or say something, you can't take it back. And people have the right to feel how they want to feel and interpret how they want to interpret what you have said. So work on yourself and try to be conscious of your thoughts and your behavior so that you don't show up in the world in ways that do not reflect you, or in ways that you wouldn't be proud of. It doesn't mean always be a saint. It doesn't mean always be like goody two shoes or someone without emotions. No, you can express your feelings without, you can express your feelings in ways and get things across without it being in ways that put you in without it being in ways that you would think later and regret how you showed up. You know, especially with those closest to you, those that matters to you, things that matter to you, people that matter to you. You know, and always like pray about it. I was watching Jess and Jonathan's podcast, and they were talking about like handling basically disagreements. I would say the word disagreements instead. And one of the things is like, said something about like, maybe like something about like praying while you're talking to someone. Like if you're talking to someone and what they're saying really is making you feel a certain way, like talking to God and asking God for clarity, asking God to help you listen and hear the things and say the things that would help in that situation. And sometimes just know yourself. If you feel like you just need to not talk about it at that moment, you just need to calm down and get back to it. But sometimes too, what ends up happening sometimes is that you would think about it later and the situation is not what you thought. And depending on how you reacted before, it can end up being a very awkward situation, especially if it's somebody that's like really close to you. So be mindful of how you show up. And remember that your mind, just because you think it, it doesn't mean, first of all, it's yours. And second of all, it doesn't mean you have to act on it. Everything is like you're receiving things. Now it's up to you to how you interpret it and what and how you choose to react. That's how it is with like the voices in your head or emotions and stuff like that. It's like, okay, Something's been triggered. You're aware of it. But why is this happening? And how do you want to respond to this? This that you're feeling, like what's going on? Like who's in front of you? Who you talking to? What's happening? What's your environment right now? And how do you want to show up in this moment? And remember, we're not alone ever. And prayer does work, even though it's hard. Like I was saying earlier in this video, we can get to a point sometimes in faith where it's hard because of the wait sometimes that we have to go through before we can get clarity on the things that we've prayed about and the timings. And like I was also saying earlier about divine timing is when you are ready, I think, at least, for the things to come in for you. So that's why, like, if you listen to a lot of the messages, they will emphasize on you doing the work. Because when you do the work on yourself, then it's like you're showing God, or we believe in the universe or whatever, that it's your work that's gonna tell God, let's say God, that you're ready, and it's gonna put you in that place to receive the things. It's like you can't cheat your way. You can't rush your way through it. It's like you will elevate. Let's say, for example, you have like a line. Let's say this bottle, right? And there's points over here, 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 here. And let's say what you want is here. But you have to go through this healing, that healing, to get to this point right here. So until you get here, you're not going to get it. So you have to do that work. And sometimes as you're doing the work, you don't realize that you're already here. You don't realize when you get here. So now you start attracting everything that is in this line right here. You be able, like you are attracting, you can attract everything. Let's say you can attract everything that's in this line because you have elevated up to that point, you know? So that's the thing. You cannot force your way through things. You cannot force your way through things. And there are certain things that could be just meant for certain timings. And I feel like, especially things like that involve other people, it's like all of you guys have to do what you need to do in order to be aligned. Once all of you guys do what you need to do, or that other person do what they need to do, you do what you need to do, then you guys will be ready. You will be at that same frequency level to be able to do what you need to do together. Because if one is here, the other one is here, it's like this person will not just get, I don't think will just get pushed up just because this person is there. No. That's why they will say sometimes also, pray for your partner. Like if you're someone who's looking for marriage, pray for your partner. As you're doing your work, pray for your partner. Pray for the people who are meant to be part of your journey. As you pray for yourself, pray for those who are attached to your journey, to your experience. You know, that might help all of you guys, because one cannot carry everybody else. Everybody else has to work through their own things in their own journey in order to be ready. Because if you're ready, let's say, and your partner is not ready, God is not going to put you in a situation that isn't equal to you. You know, because then that would just be that could affect you and even the person negatively. But when you're both at that same level, you know, it's better. It doesn't mean that everything's going to be perfect now, but you at least standing on equal grounds almost. But yeah, I'm going to leave it here. Hopefully there was something here that you benefited from. And yeah, thank you for watching. Peace, love, and light. Always remember to take care of yourself, take care of others, take care of the environment, because everything is connected. What you put out comes back to you. So be the light that you want to see. And remember, change starts with you. Love ya.